The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, in a strange turn of events, a man known for cleaning out troubled towns with a combination of kung fu and his cat Colin Robinson, it's Mark.
Oh, poor Colin, he wouldn't stand a chance. But also, he wouldn't be in the film either.
No. And that's it. It's a two-man booth today. James's laptop has exploded.
Has he fallen into the synopsis machine?
Oh, well, we'll find out.
Feet kicking out at the top.
I imagine it's like Bertha.
I was just about to say, lovely Bertha. God,
oh.
we have lived too long.
I feel that every morning. But before we get into that and all that, if you want to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Greatness gossip and that, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. Or if you have dark hair and want to die first, but also recommend a film to us, you can email hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com.
Please recommend a film to us, because we're terrible at this.
I mean, we're in Junemas now, and we thought, right, if the regular show is doing Christmas films, we can do anything they can do. We can't.
Man, I mean, it was such a good idea. It just doesn't work.
There are better ones that we could
Are
have
there
picked.
Worse, I think, is the question.
Yeah, I've seen some terrible stuff.
I've seen the one where the mentally ill guy thinks he's Santa.
Garbage Day! That one.
He's the one, yeah.
Yeah, the one that's made of. It's the first film recut.
Yes,
with
the one.
Two extra. It's
he sees you when you're sleeping. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Which is also called he sees you when you're sleeping. I think
it's a terrible film.
Yeah, I saw that at the Quad in Derby with a interview with the director live from his broadcast live from his home in California.
I was going to say in Grimsby.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He was selling whelks in between answering questions.
Down the tip.
Oh, well, we are, of course, referring to... the 2006 remake of Black Xmas. Based on the original 1974, I think, Black Xmas.
Yeah.
It has also since been remade in 2019 for some reason.
Well, I guess they looked at this and went, can't do much worse.
Apparently they can.
Really?
The 2019 one is worse than the 1974 one. It's a exploitation film, isn't it?
It's not great.
But I think this was sort of around the time when they were doing like horror stuff, 2006. So that would have been that's way after like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and all that.
No, but it kind of led into the Saw stuff. It would have been like Saw bloody 5 or something at this point, and everything's
The
cheap
Conjuring and that.
Oh yeah, I think we were Paranormal Activity in it up at this point. Yeah,
but this is not like those. This is like a traditional sort of slasher film. In fact, that's all it is slashing.
It's just IP, innit? I get, let's have that IP. Let's have that IP. Oh, we found this under a fucking sofa.
What can we buy cheap?
Yeah, absolutely. The director, producer, and writer is one man, and he's dead.
What have they forgot to keep the copyright up on? We'll have it, whatever it is.
What kind of drugs are his fucking children on? All right, let's send a boatload round to them.
So, let's fire up the synopsis, Matron.
Crisp and fresh and even.
Nice.
Black Xmas, an ITV festive special filmed in front of a live studio audience at the North Pier, Blackpool, hosted by AI-generated hologram of professional scouser and Cliff Richard botherer, Cilla Black.
Ooh.
Guest starring convicted fraudster and lies peddler, Conrad Black, deputy SNP leader, Mary Black,
Jesus,
and filmmaker, Shane Black. With musical guests, Joe, any guesses?
The Black Crows.
Oh, that would have been a good one. Yeah,
Frank Black and the Catholics.
Yeah, or whatever he's calling themselves these days. Yeah.
Oh, the singer Black from It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, very good.
My sister won tickets to go and see him.
Oh, really?
Only person to enter the contest.
Any guesses?
Black Lace?
That would have been so much better.
I think it ended the pier.
Chat Black and Friday lover Rebecca Black.
I think Jet Black's dead, isn't he? That's a hologram him in as well. Must not turn into an all-night rave.
That's it.
It's good. I'd watch that.
No, you wouldn't.
I probably would. No, actually.
It'd be a Laura shit, wouldn't it?
It's that picture, isn't it? It's that
It's
Cold War
exactly
Steve picture of Cilla Black.
Sat at that table at the restaurant
refusing to move. The actual synopsis for 2006's Black Christmas. On Christmas Eve, an escaped maniac returns to his childhood home, which is now a sorority house, and begins to murder the sorority sisters one by one.
Okay. Sorority sisters are also playing this Christmas Black Christmas thing that I'm doing. I'm sure they ripped off. Everybody. Sorority sisters, didn't they?
The amount of times you hear the Sugar Plum Fairy in this film.
Oh, fucking hell. And I just thought,
I'm assuming because it's free to
free.
license. Yeah.
I'm going to make it the new theme tune to my podcast.
Please don't.
No.
I hate it. It's music box style gubbins. But we start off and I was like, okay, this is pretty good. So it's a lass in a sorority house in her bedroom. Writing out a card to someone. She writes Lee, she puts the pen on the floor, and then there's banging and clattering. So she gets up to investigate. She comes back and the pen's gone. And I was like, oh, here we go. And there's something moving under the bed. And then it goes all manhunt.
There's a little bit, yeah.
There's a lot of plastic bag abuse in this film.
There's a lot of... And I figured it was just because it's cheaper than having fake heads smashed about. But then they had loads of fake heads to smash about.
Later on, yeah. Chabert got a fake head.
Yeah, she did.
That's the reason we're doing this, is because it stars Lacey Chabert as well.
Yeah.
But she gets plastic bag pulled over her head and then a biro shoved into her head, and that's enough to kill you, apparently.
Well, that's the end of non-union Megan Fox.
Again, the main problem with this film is as well, apart from the blonde lady heroine, all the other women have dark hair and look fairly interchangeable. There's not a lot of character to them. One's a drinker. One apparently is like a god botherer.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
One is Southern without being Southern. Oh, that accent.
Yeah.
And they keep going, "Oh, you Southern bitch," and she's like, "It's me, y'all."
The South shall come again. And one of them is Buffy's sister from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
I think there's possibly another two.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is. Yeah. Anyway, we'll come to her. I love the fact she was writing. I didn't know if she was writing to a person called Lee or she was writing to the famous rugby league town of Lee.
Oh, she could be. I'd hand deliver that. I go, it's near my work, Lee.
I wouldn't.
No, it's Elton John played there. What are you on about?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, the cricket ground. I think that's on the rugby ground.
What position did he play?
Hooker.
Hey.
But that's it. And then it goes Black Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, this might be quite good."
Yeah,
this
something could happen here.
I was like, "Okay, that's a strong opening, right?" Because it shocked me.
There's bits in this. There's some good kills.
Some good killings. Yeah. But a lot of it is stupidity and not a lot happening. The killing bits are the best bit.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then this is where we cut to like the mental hospital.
Yeah.
The home for dangerous murderers, and they're having Christmas dinner. Like
biscuits and milk and biscuits.
Yeah. And I was like, did he do that? And I felt bad for this lad as well, like, because he's just an orderly, and he's not like mean or anything. He's not mistreating them. So
yeah, but he is a useless milk dropping bastard.
He is. He drops the milk and it holds the door open,
does.
Which again is poor for a because even in prisons they have like two airlocks,
like an airlock.
Yeah, here
to suck the prisoners out of.
Here with the most dangerous prisoners in the world, Billy Lenz and a guy claiming to be Jesus that we see.
Yeah, I liked him. I wanted more. I wanted his story.
I wanted Jesus to try and like calm him down and then him to get stabbed up or something in the hands. That'd have been fun.
So this carton of milk falls in between the door and stops the door from closing. Now, this is a Last Orders exclusive, this, Joe. This will shock and horrify anybody that knows me and listens to the podcast on a regular basis. A carton of milk, of course, got him free. Arguably, Margaret Thatcher had a point taking milk off of us.
Oh, I've not got my milk thief T-shirt on, mate, unfortunately.
Yeah, so maybe, just maybe, we're all doing revisionist opinions of Margaret Thatcher now, aren't we?
Nope.
So those lassies wouldn't have died if it wasn't for Margaret Thatcher.
If she took the milk away, then he never would have escaped.
Took it away from kids in UK, but if she'd have become all-powerful leader of the planet, then she'd have taken it away from the
Can you imagine if they still had it? It'd be like milk, wouldn't it? It would just be like, why are my bones so brittle? Yeah, it would be. Well, it was always awful anyway.
It would be. But she demanded rat or higher.
Yeah, full of
or dog or
jelly.
higher.
Yeah, no bugger will drink it. That's why. And a foot like comes in behind him, and you think, "Oh, here we go." And it's not. It's just some guy who's Santa on his way to the children's ward of the mental hospital.
Yeah, mental children.
Daft kids, I think they're called.
Yeah, they are, yeah. The line was, "This ain't no place for Santa Claus. Not at Christmas." Hang on a minute. When else would he be there?
But he's still like, instead of going, "Oh, this isn't the children's bit, I'll leave," he's like, "I'll come and walk up and down and talk to this guy, the security guard who is a bit South African and then isn't." But he's putting all these snacks through, and he's like, "Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas," this lad. He's doing his best for that thing. Jesus is there in one of them, and he's like, "I was betrayed," on all this thing. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. And then we get to Billy Lenz's one, Lenz, Billy Lenz.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah.
Right, okay.
Because I looked it up, because I was like, Billy Lenz is a terrible. It's like a guy who goes door to door selling you glasses. It's and we were informed that he killed his own family on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
After his mum kept him in the attic. And then the guy's like, "Here's his meal. It looks like chicken because it is chicken."
Yeah, but we try and get it to taste as much like his mama as we can. And I'm like, what
is happening here?
Right. And then it only gets worse.
Yeah, that was a particularly dark time. But they put this stuff through and he snatches it and scuttles off into his room, which, again, if you are a known sort of psychopath, dangerous, they're not going to let you have Christmas lights in your room, are they? No. It would be like a metal bed bolted to the floor and one of those metal toilets, and like that would be it. It wouldn't be, "Here's a rocking chair for you to sit in." and
because you like a rocking chair.
It reminds him of his mum. And then this is that bit, and then it's like, oh, okay.
It's Santa, by the way, he's get chatting up this dolly bird, isn't he? She's pushing the trolley. Oh, Santa, what have you got in your sack for me? And he's like, hang on a second, I'm a raging hard on. And
there's a lot of sort of Santa based puns in this. He doesn't do the only comes once a year line, which I think was a wasted opportunity.
Bit, doesn't he?
And he's like, "Oh, you've been a bad girl, but can you be worse?" And then she walked around the corner and was like, "I'm off duty now." And I was like, you're still at work though.
You haven't even clocked off, girl.
And as this is happening, the security guard, Billy posts a present through to him, and instead of just going, "No," throwing it in the bin like any normal sane person would have done, he opens it and it says, "I'll be out by Christmas." Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-dum. And he looks through there and sees him sitting in his chair, rocking backwards and forwards, and he goes, "Oh, okay, I'll go in and check." I was like, "What the no?" Yeah. Also, you would have like an override of lights as well. Like,
yeah, of course,
dark in this room.
Yeah,
Billy's hiding under the bed, which whatever.
There's this hole, isn't there? He's like made a hole in the wall.
Which it references that a lot, and I don't quite understand what it was for. But he's cut into the drywall that apparently this prison cell is made of. Which it turns out you can kick through very easily.
There's a lot of that. There's some more of that
but he hides under the bed and then he stabs the security guard in the neck with a sharpened candy cane. And I was like, okay, fair enough. This is stupid. And then he just straight up murders Santa.
And there's blood everywhere, but then when we see him in the costume, there's not a drop of blood on
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's Santa's magic. He puts his finger on his nose and he walks out with this massive bag, and then he just dumps it, and the other Santa's body is in there. And our hero, Billy, is now free to go about his murder spree.
Yeah.
Or so you think. We cut back to the house, and one of the girls is watching pornography on a laptop.
Yeah, and what was going on here? Who was this?
I think this was Kyle.
Right, okay.
And her, because he says later on, like, he tries to distract that girl from looking at the computer.
He does.
And he says, like, someone at work hates me and found all my videos and put them online. And I was like, well, you can sue them for big money because that's like revenge porn and that's not cool. But she's watching that, and then like the blonde woman in it, I think Kelly, is she called?
The blonde woman is called Kelly with an I.
Right.
Kelly Presley.
And another one. I go and knocking on all the doors going, come on, we're opening presents now because it's Christmas Day?
Night? Like Christmas Eve night?
Christmas Eve, possibly.
Yeah.
We
Because it's
don't know,
America.
the,
They open
the time
presents.
frame is blurry at best.
Yeah.
And we
just like the transfer that we watched.
Yeah, to be fair, the YouTube version of this was like watching it through a Star Trek filter for the attractive alien ladies. And downstairs, sitting round the tree, we have Michelle Trachtenberg, the drunk one who's drinking, whose name couldn't tell you. Was that Heather?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. Yeah, Heather Fitzgibbon, apparently, according to this. I couldn't have told you.
Whatever. And this Barbara, like, who is the sorority mother.
The sorority mom, who I have seen in bits and pieces. I think she was in that the Greek wedding, one of those Greek weddings.
My big fan Greek wedding.
She's in one of them. Yeah, or all of them probably.
I'm assuming she was in the original one, and this is like a fun wink to it.
Oh, right, okay. That's not fun.
It's pure guesswork, but there's no other reason for her to be in this film because she does nothing.
I'm just doing a very quick Google, and I'm not seeing it. It's in Cannibal Girls. Oh, there you go. 1974's Black Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah. Well done, that man.
I just assumed there was because she serves no other purpose other than being like, there we go. That's a bit for the ladies. And then there's like some other people there as well. There's like another dark-haired girl. And they're all interchangeable because none of them have personalities.
Yeah. It's just here's some pretty dark-haired lass. Yeah, and
who's going to get murdered in a minute.
Yeah.
And they're talking and they're saying we're going to open presents. But first, we have to open Billy's present. We get this kind of weird philosophical debate about the origins of Christmas, which I was like, she's not wrong. It was co-opted by the Romans away to steal, winter solstice away from the pagans. And all the stuff's there, the tree and the mistletoe and all that jazz. That is what it is. But I was like, can we have a killing, please? I'm bored.
Could you all die very quickly?
I didn't sign up for this. And it's the tradition in this house because this is the house where Billy killed his parents. And it's now a sorority house.
How did they end up with this as a sorority house? Because I know, having previously worked in property, that you have to, certainly in America as well as here, you've got to put forward if a property has been used. If somebody's been murdered in a property or
it was a crime
or whatever, you've got to put that in. I assumed the college just got it cheap.
Well, I think Kyle says like he grew up on this street before it was all bought out and turned into frat and sorority houses.
Right.
So I'm assuming no one wants to live near the murder house, do they?
Well, unless you're Ned Flanders. He loves purple drapes.
Isn't there a thing, or did I imagine that, where you have to declare if it's haunted in America? In America, maybe I made that up.
I mean, it is America.
It feels like a thing that in one state you'll have to do that, like one of the more mad ones. And so I think we get another murder at this point, do we?
I have completely lost where we are because it doesn't matter, Joe. It doesn't matter.
No. I think the lady who was watching pornography.
Oh, yes. Because, then we come back later and she's been murderated.
She's been killed to death with probably a plastic bag over the head because that seems to be his MO.
Yeah.
They're all sitting downstairs and they're going, oh, well, Tracy's not here because she's gone home. And like, other Tracy isn't here because she's gone skiing with the guys from
the other
I
place.
felt a thigh, and I was like, is this necessary? So it turns out these are the only people left in the thingy.
Yeah, and we get that like nobody else is going home for whatever reason. There's snow, and then the Mary Elizabeth Winstead Southern accent thing. It's kind of like what, your daddy's gonna come and get you, and she's like, at least my daddy wants me to come home. I'm like, what is that? What even is that?
it was a choice.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good choice, but it was a choice.
But they do keep reminding us throughout the film that she is Southern because they have to keep reminding us because her accent is so bad.
It sounds like Mark doing a Forrest Gump impression exactly like that.
That wasn't the intention. But yes.
No, but that's what it reminded me of. It is just poor.
I tell you what, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, your mama must really love you.
She comes back when she's got tuberculosis or whatever it is. But so we're like, oh, another person's been deaded. Exciting, is it? They open up a present, and then Lee appears, and we kind of get snippets of Billy Lenz's backstory at this point.
Yeah. Now, this is probably the most disturbing bit, and it's basically just Psycho 3.
Yeah.
Isn't it, this? It's just Psycho 3, but with some inbreeding.
So they said, Billy lived in this house, but he was born with a rare liver disease that makes him bright yellow. Or we've turned the contrast way up on the blue so everyone looks yellow.
Because I thought at first, am I seeing this? Like, is this another problem with this transfer?
Are they feeding that baby highlighter pens? I think it's just shitty effects.
Yeah.
And it serves no purpose as well, because at no point do we go, because there is no payoff to it.
Do you think it was? I'm sure this was roughly about the same time as that first Sin City film.
Possibly.
First Sin City film was maybe about 2004. So this is, and I'm kind of, what? Like, have you just seen that and gone, that's a choice? Let's do that.
We'll do it like in 300. We'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. But anyway, it's kind of weird.
None of it matters.
None of it matters. None of this matters.
So she's his mum, who's certainly a character actor that we've seen in bits and pieces. So she's obviously upset that he's a little peaky, a little yellow around the gills, and the father, who is just some sort of broken-faced man, is like, "Oh, I love you, child," and she just takes the baby's first ornament off thing, crushes it in her hand, and just sprinkles it on the child. I'm like, you.
The sorority mother says that she hated Billy because she reminded him of his father. I was like, okay, don't understand this, but whatever. And then we cut forward like 5 years or 8 years or whatever, and like Billy's running about, and it's Christmas, and his mum's like, "You're getting nothing, Billy, because you're a little shit." Basically, I mean, it's paraphrasing, but it isn't.
She likes a big plastic mug of vodka, doesn't she?
I mean, I like good bad mother acting. Like a tab on the go, big old glass of Glen's vodka. And he goes over to his dad, and his dad's like, "Oh, maybe Santa's got you a present upstairs." So Billy runs upstairs, and is
it 5 pounds of veal?
It would have been better. And he goes into this little cupboard thing that he's got, and he's cut out the drywall, and inside is this package wrapped up in newspaper, which again is a thing that runs throughout it, but is never fully addressed.
No,
and inside is a Russian space module.
Yeah,
model.
Yeah, which I didn't really get.
I was like, was that a thing that was happening?
I mean, that was the but the kid was born in 1977 or something, wasn't he?
If this is
26, like 82 or something.
He's supposed to be 35 at this point, at the main point of the film.
Right, okay.
So if 2006, he would be... it's still too late.
32, yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Russian space satellite stuff.
Yeah.
And he looks kind of annoyed at this.
And why would Americans buy Russian in the Cold War?
Point as well, yeah. And then I missed what happened here. Like, he hears some banging about or something, and like goes into the crawl space under the house.
Yeah, and sees that Dad's been murdered because he said the dad is shouting and carrying on. "Oh, why don't you something with your lover?" And she's like, "My husband," or something.
Right?
Like, what? What's going on here? And then the kid goes into the crawl space and finds that they're murdering his dad.
Yeah, they're whamming him with this pole. Yeah. Right, and it was pretty good. And he's like, he goes, and then they chase him, and then they lock him in the attic forever.
Yeah,
like, they just lock him upstairs.
Yeah, feed him on fish heads.
Roly-poly fish heads. Eat them up, yum. Is this where we've... I think that's later on, isn't it, when Kyle tells the rest of the story?
Yes.
But so at this point, they're all like, "Oh, that's disgusting." But the ugly girl, the sorority, comes down. She's like, I'm leaving. Here's my secret Santa to you. It's like a glass unicorn.
Chekhov's unicorn statue, yeah.
Yep. And she goes, because I know you like the Bible. Unicorn's famously not in the Bible.
Famously in the Scottish version.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on that. How could it be a national animal if it doesn't exist? And then she goes to leave and the phone rings. And it's, oh, help me. And they're going, who is it? Oh, Dave, is it you? Oh, very funny. And then he goes, what is it? They're my family now. You're my wife
wife now. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going, oh, okay. And they hang up. And then they have an argument over it. And it turns out it's coming from...
the call was coming from inside.
Yeah, the girl who's was looking at the pawn's phone, I think it was. Yep. And so they go, oh, she must be upstairs. They go upstairs. She's not there. But Kyle is, and he's come because he was like, there's a misdirect where you see someone climbing up the ivy outside.
Yeah.
And he comes out the room and he's like, oh, I was looking for her, but she's not in there. And I was like, this all feels very set up. Let's hope it pays off. And they go and. But then Kyle fills in the rest of the story of Billy.
Non-union Jake Gyllenhaal.
He looks like every generic sort of teenage.
I expected he would be called Pacey or something like that. Kyle
Clark. And he fills in the rest of the story. So Billy has a sister.
Agnes.
Agnes.
It means Lamb of God, Joe, and you know it.
But so we get this weird scene of Billy's mum and murder stepdad having sex on the top of the stairs, but the dad is that bored he passes out. Now, I don't know how bad she is at sex, but I've never fallen as humble brag. But she decides to just go upstairs where Billy sat in a rocking chair, and it's implied rapes him.
Lower herself onto him.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is weird. But then she has a baby, Agnes, who is the love of her life, who's a new favourite thing. Billy's still in the loft at this point, like Paddington. And we flash forward a couple more years, and Agnes is opening a present. She's the new favourite. Her mum's still on the tabs.
Her mum, by the way, really has got whatever happened to Baby Jane vibes going on, hasn't she?
She really does. She does really good, dishevelled hatred, really, really well. MVP of the film, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
And she's bought her a Tammy craps herself or whatever it is. She's got farts in its head. And she goes to make some biscuits.
Yeah,
and then
for the kids.
She hears banging upstairs. She runs upstairs to yell at fucking thingy to calm down at Billy. She comes back down. Agnes has gone, but the doll's there, but it's got an eye missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's tried to kill Agnes.
Yeah, for some reason he's looking at everything through a telescope. So this film has some really weird kind of lines of sight don't work throughout it. And there's one with the telescope where I think he's looking from inside the attic, but he can see them below
inside the house,
through walls and floors.
So like a periscope more than a telescope.
Maybe we should spend more time with Billy. He's becoming isolated and weird.
It's got Billy Poole written on his leg. But yeah, so and then I think he's already killed the dad at this point. Oh no, his dad comes out and he's holding up Agnes's eye.
Yeah.
And then the dad comes forward and this was pretty good. He stabs him right through the head and then pulls his eye with it, which I thought was quite good.
Was good. Yeah,
that was quite good. That. And then he goes, chokes his mum out with some Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Which, that's going to be a nightmare to untangle them for next year, isn't it? Wrap them around some cardboard is my top advice. Yeah.
That's a good tip, that. Yeah.
Drags her into the kitchen, whams her to death with a rolling pin, repeatedly.
And this was gruesome and great. This is probably one of my favourite bits. Yeah.
One-handed, two-handed, he's doing all the moves. I think he does a backflip at one point. And then he was like, and he picks up a gingerbread man biscuit cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And presses it into the flesh and puts it on a tray and cooks them. And I was like, this is gross.
This oven looked like the inside of HAL 9000.
I was going to say, it's
what are you doing, Billy?
We can't have an on oven on set, so we'll just put bright orange lights inside this thing. That would cook anything in about 3 seconds. That one is like a flash fryer buffalo.
Oh, but I want it now.
And then the police come in and they're like, there's a girl injured in the corner. And they go in and Billy sat at the table eating cookies, quote unquote, with milk. And there's a gross bit where it shows him biting into it and like pulling the sinew.
They were
and stuff away.
overcooked, Rachel said. Rachel said, oh, a bit disappointed about how overcooked those are.
I've never cooked human flesh. I'm not sure what the temperature
Are you sure
is.
if you'd actually cooked it in a normal oven instead of cooking it in the fires of Hades?
I was going to say that in a dragon's mouth. And that's basically Billy's backstory to a nutshell there. Like, we find out that Agnes got put into care. She's got a fake eye now, but she's nuts because who would want a bastard inbred child or something? They said, and I was like, all right, fair enough.
Bit harsh.
No one's perfect. And that's it in terms of plot, like development, backstory. From here on in, it's just muck duck of the highest order.
It is.
So drunk one is drunk and spews up on herself.
Yeah, and
But
they
she's
get
only
to
had,
bed.
like 2 glasses of wine and a tequila.
Well, she's only 20, so you know.
Shouldn't even be drinking then, should she?
Well, no, I guess not.
The sorority mother should have put a stop to that. So yeah, they take her upstairs to clean off, and we get like a weird titillation shot of her bottom in the shower.
Oh,
And
yeah.
There's a weird bit in this, like, because it gets a bit like the people under the stairs-y.
Yeah.
Because apparently whoever the murderer is has got all these fucking Scooby-Doo style peepholes around the place.
And this is another one of these impossible shots where he's watching her in the shower, in spite of the fact that there's a step up to the shower and the peephole is just next to the thing.
The
and
angle of it.
The eye does like a cartoony wolf kind of coming out of there.
There is a bit where he looks through one of those posters, and I was waiting for the eyes to go woo and knock something over.
Oh, that was like Shawshank Redemption.
But yeah, he's watching this. She comes back in, and Michelle Trachtenberg's like, right, let's get you to bed. They put her in bed, and like they leave her, and she's fine in there for a while. Don't worry about her.
Should be all right.
The lights go off in the house, and they're like, oh, why are all the other lights on in the street? It must be the circuit breaker. Where's the circuit breaker in this house? Underneath the house. That seems an impractical place to have it, to me. But they send out...
So the raccoons could turn the lights on when you're on holiday.
They send out Lacey Chabert to fix them because reasons. Someone's got to die. And so they send her out, and she's... I'm not going outside, it's cold. And like the snow is snowing. They try and phone the police, but the police can't get there for 2 hours. Or something.
Yeah, the issue is the storm, and there's a tree down just in case.
You know, all the classic.
So it's going to be 2 hours for us to cut a hole in the tree and get in.
But at this point, they say, "Why don't we all just stay in one room, lock all the doors, right, and that will be safe." And they go, let's do the exact opposite of that and go in every single direction possible. Like,
Every room that's got a crawl space attached to it, we'll just be in those.
Everyone that's got an eyeball-shaped hole cut in the wall, go into that one. Like Fred and Rose West.
There was a bit here, by the way, where I spotted that really kind of early 2000s screensaver on the computer.
Yes.
I mean, and I just thought, I haven't thought about screensavers in probably over 10 years.
Just lock your screen, don't you, walk away. But it wasn't a flying eyeball, like the flying toaster thing. It was an eyeball, and I was like,
it was. That's quite clever, actually.
They're obsessed with eyeballs for no reason. Because like he eats some of them, but then the other ones he's got
some of them up
hanging off a tree. So I don't know. But she goes under. She like opens this thing to get into the crawl space, and then she goes, "Oh, you silly bitch! I can hear you!" and gets pulled in, and there's like a struggle ensues. She gets like a tiny hand trowel or rake, and stabs it in their arm, and they go, "Oh," because they're like unkillable at this point. And like whams it into the back of her neck, and then it immediately turns her into a mannequin, like the film Mannequin. Like,
she's an Egyptian princess.
It really is noticeable that they just gone, I don't know, put a Lacey Chabert wig on that. It's poor. And then that's Chabert dead.
This was another peephole, wasn't it? She drops her fag. It was really weird watching her smoke.
Yeah.
By the way, I mean, she wasn't doing a very good job of it. So
this was before she found God.
Yeah. So she drops a cigarette on the ground, but it goes down the peephole. And it was at this point I was like, there are so many peepholes. Was this filmed at Harvey Weinstein's house?
So she doesn't come back. They all go, what shall we do? The house mother and one of the other girls
Mm-hmm.
decide to make a break for it and drive to the police station.
Yeah, so this was Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And at this point, Mary Elizabeth Winstead calls someone a fucking bitch. And I've written, why are they all so mean?
They're all...
They're all awful. Like, they're not even like Mean Girls clever and Mean Girls fun. They're just... Like, and they're not even cleverly written. Like, I would understand if they had some pithy dialogue, but they just go, "Oh, you fucking bitch! Oh,
Well,
you dozy cow!"
Before Chabert dies, she's like, "I can see you bitch," or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be sorority sisters, isn't this like friends for life and
Yeah.
networking, and you're all going to sing in a choir against Rebel
Yeah,
Wilson,
or-
and
yeah,
you know.
oh, fucking, I wish.
But no, they
I
all seem to
wish
sort
do
of
things against
hate
Rebel
each
Wilson.
other. Like, but they try and make it out like, but we're sisters and we stay together. It's like you all hate each other. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I wish Fat Amy got killed in this.
well, and
Man,
the quiet,
I wish.
the quiet Asian one. It's I've had to watch that film so many times.
Yeah, Rachel.
One of
Rachel's
Harvey's
got a-
favourites.
Yeah,
And I'm like, it's
Rachel's got
terrible.
a real wide on for that as well.
Jesus Christ, I've not heard that in a while. So they go
welcome
out
to
to
Carlisle, Joe.
I was going to say.
Set your watch back 25 years. You're in Carlisle now.
And so they get to the car and avoid all danger. They get in the car and there's a dun 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 as she's trying to start the car. She lets Mary Winstead in. And then she's like, here, and hands her like a stick. I thought, why has she got like a homemade axe? But Mary thing is like, I do not know what that is.
I do declare.
You don't have to keep declaring things. And so she goes like, fucking
boy, I say boy.
So like she goes fucking bitch, gets out and starts scraping the windscreen with it.
Like barely gets anything done.
No.
And then all of a sudden there's just an explosion of blood in the car.
Someone has robbed a bank and opened one of those dye packs in there. Like it explodes big. Like
yeah.
And she goes, backs away from the car. And this is the only non-killer related death in the thing. A fucking icicle falls and pierces her head. She must have a fontanelle like a newborn child.
It was good. I liked it.
It made me laugh because there's not enough icicle murder.
Yeah. By the way, in this, was 2006 the kind of peak of caller ID? Because, man, this whole film relies on caller ID like shit.
I think it was 2006 would have been... No, we were way past... We're way into mobile phones then.
But they're using mobile phones and it's all about caller ID. And then they've got this landline that rings. Yeesh, landline. And this landline rings and that's got caller ID. And then at one point she goes, why don't you star 69 in? And I was like, ooh, dirty.
Dirty. That's just 1471, that isn't it, in America?
Yeah. Oh, but that'll just reconnect. That'll just reconnect you to him. Oh, well, that's fine.
Who are you?
And there is a bit where you say, just tell him he's a twat or something.
I'd have done that. Tell him he's a shit house. And so they're dead now. I think Trachtenberg and one of the other girls sees this, and they go, let's go upstairs to see if we can see it better, because this house apparently is in some sort of prism that refracts like at weird angles. So they go upstairs and they don't see this. I think, is this when Trachtenberg gets attacked?
No, is this where they go and wake up? Yeah, no, this is where they go. They go to see if the drunk lassie is okay, and there's a kind of a bit of a. It's like, is she dead? Is she dead?
Jump scare.
And they move the pit, like the cushion, the cover away, and she's just in a pile of drool. It's got more drool than Jabba the Hutt.
I was going to say that was disgusting. Like it was, but that was like. There's a lot of weird sort of pseudo jump scares in this as well that aren't really like built up to enough. So I think this, Michelle Trachtenberg, I think then goes to her room to get stuff. I don't know.
And she gets ice skated, doesn't she?
Well, the thing is, she gets a shot in, and she's whacking this guy with a stick, and then tries to get out of the window, which is never a good idea in films, is it? And they pick up a pair of... They kind of look around the room, and there's like a machete and a trident, and they're like, no, ice skates, that's where it's at. And like, they whip them around, and I'm like, I don't know, ice skates are not that sharp.
No. And this is, I think, very much a kind of like a winky nudge, because she was in a film called Ice Princess.
I don't think it is.
Ice skating thing. No, I think it probably is. And it made me feel a bit sick.
But yeah, her head falls off anyway. At this point, someone's sister has shown up as well.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck was going on here? Like, I was
non-Julie and
confused.
Juliette Lewis. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Oh, because we're watching Yellow Jackets.
Ah.
But yeah, she comes in and she's like, I used to belong to this sorority. I was here for 2 months. And I was like, that doesn't really count, does it? Like,
and she's even more unkind than the rest of them, isn't she?
Well, I just don't understand what her point. She's come to meet her sister, who is the lass who got the pen in the head.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not going until I found her because then I'll know she's dead. And then they go and find her car and her head falls out and she's like, well, she's dead. But her and Kelly end up like teaming up and becoming best buds.
Yeah.
And I think is that no, that's not everyone dead yet, is it?
No, we've got, for some reason I've written here, remember polyphonic ringtones? Were they all preloaded? That's a good question.
Oh, no.
Or did
£1.50 off the back of one of their magazines.
And you could also get the little things to go where it said Nokia. Instead, you replaced it with Metallica.
Yeah.
God, because you were fucking cool.
Old men remember things.
Yeah. Oh, so they decide to go up into the attic. These two and non-union, what's his name, Jake Gyllenhaal, and they've got these Poundland torches. It's like, right, on the count of 3, right? So I'll dial 9 and then 1, and then when you say 3, I'll dial 1 again. But yeah, they lift it up and shine the torch up. But it's like one of those torches you got as a child.
It is literally. I think it came with slides that went over the end of like Thomas the Tank Engine, and it's weak. There again, 2006. What was the average lumen count of a torch
come on.
back then?
No, because X-Files were mag lighting it up, weren't they?
To be fair, I mean, you could land planes with, yeah. But yeah, so they're like, and then Kyle goes up, gets dragged up, gets murdered. They
bagging head,
bagging head, and I think he just suffocates. Or I don't know. I don't think it's anything fun. And the other two, like, they managed to fight their way up there, and then we get like this weird scene that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we've seen that the killer is a straggly-haired blonde person, but we never see the face.
No.
Right.
Because, obviously, if it gave that away, we'd see that person wasn't yellow. Or something.
Yeah, that matters. Well, to be fair, when we see Billy later, he isn't, because they just forgot.
Yeah,
like,
Or
he got better. He got an operation in prison.
They fixed his liver.
It just stopped giving him Sunny Delight and carrots. So yeah, there is this fight at this point. I think she stabs her in the eye with the fork, and then her eye comes out, and then we go, oh, it's not Billy. Yeah. It's his sister Agnes.
It's Iggy Pop.
It's Iggy Pop when he's been on the Gregs. Like they're a chunky lass.
Does look like one of the white chicks from the
it's some sketchy makeup.
Yeah,
and like she knocks her out and like ties her up, and we get like this weird thing where they're lighting candles and going, everyone should be home for Christmas. And we see they've brought all the bodies up, glued the heads back on the people that heads fell off. And I don't understand. Like,
so all of a sudden, she knows the entire floor plan. Well, they all know the entire floor plan of the Addams family house that they're living in, including the little girl who's been in some sort of institution since she was 5?
Yeah.
But still knows every inch of the house.
Well, she's been crawling around it because it turns out she was the murderer all this time.
Ah, right. Okay.
Or is it?
It doesn't really make
Were they
sense.
working in tandem? Because that's the thing with slasher films is that, like, if they hadn't gone out to that car, they'd be sitting in that car for ages waiting for him to show up. Like, it relies on, I don't know. So maybe they were working in cahoots with each other, because I think Billy's there at this point as well.
Yeah.
Like a fight breaks out. She like gets pushed through the drywall into that bit from the Matrix. They're in the walls, that bit.
Bart, get out of the crawl space.
And she's like, oh, help me. But the sister is having a fight with the wall and a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Because Billy's going, knocking a hole through the wall like the Incredible Hulk.
So I didn't understand this, because Agnes is crawling down the wall. She's lowering herself down because there's footholds. But the blonde one can't do that, lowering herself down the footholds thing. Because why? Because the film. I guess. And then
doesn't
she's
know they're
about to
there.
fall. She's about to fall, and then a fire sets out with candles.
The
See?
candles,
Never
it
leave a
sets
candle
fire
on.
to an old pram that's there.
Yeah.
She's then attached to this Rube fucking Goldberg machine of
It is.
Final Destination levels of tomfoolery
It's
happen
like fucking
here.
Saw. Yeah.
It is. It's attached to Christmas light, which is attached to like a merry-go-round, which is attached to a snow globe, and
which is attached to a man who jumps into a bath. Yeah.
That's the best bit about Mousetrap. He's setting
Yeah,
it up, watched it go around and then put it away. No one's ever played the actual game. It's shite.
No, it's rubbish.
And so the sister bashes a hole in the wall, pulls her out as this burning pram falls down.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be like a phew, that was close. I was like, it's a burning pram. Like, just bounce off you. Like, it's not the worst thing that's going to happen.
You just get scorched.
Yeah.
But
and then they lock all the doors and you hear screaming and stuff, and then we cut to a hospital and there's a handy news reporter going, murderers have done a big murder.
And it's the people that were in a home for daft lads.
Yeah, but they're dead now. More news to follow.
Yeah,
and I was like,
film at 11.
I was like, oh, they're not going to be dead though, are they? Because we've still got 20 minutes left of this.
Yeah. Then the body bags get kind of dragged into the non-union Heath Ledger, who's having an argument
with himself because it took ages to go. Has he got a headset on?
And
I'm working Christmas because it's my job, and I'm like, you're a coroner, mate.
I don't think nobody else can do the job because those bodies aren't going to still be here in 24 hours.
Also, you're drinking on the job, mate, so you're not really that proud of your job, are you?
Well, it all goes badly for him because he gets
the bone saw.
Yeah, he does. He gets bone sawed, and that eggnog's undrinkable now. It's got blood all in it.
Full of noggy goodness. Yeah,
very disappointing.
The government will take it away.
Exactly right. Yeah. Well, it will because he's got his blood in it. I would assume that they would. Surely that doesn't pass even FDA tests.
Yeah, but he's eating his mum biscuits. What's wrong with some coroner eggnog? Kelly is in a hospital bed, all slight cut on her head, like, oh, I'm so weak. And the sister is there, whose name I didn't even bother to learn, because she's like, I was going to open this present in front of my sister, but we're sisters now. And I'm like, are you? What?
Yeah, it's more of that family thing, isn't it?
Firmly. She opens it up, and it's a fucking, Gem TV watch.
I have written, it looks like you'd get it down Bury Market.
Yeah, it's tat. It's like the stuff late night shopping on Friday. You're flicking through and they're going, only 400 left in stock. Buy now.
Have you got any of those watches left? And he looks behind him. We've got a couple.
One or two. But it's got family is forever engraved on the back of it.
Dominic Toretto.
And then someone comes in and goes like, oh, we need to take you for some more x-rays because the x-ray technician's going home now.
Because no fucker works on Christmas Day.
I was like, what hospital is this? Like, if you have a heart attack on Christmas in this town, that fucking bollocks to it, mate. Like, just take your luck in it. So she goes out and then doesn't the sister go to find her or something?
Yeah. So this death was pretty gruesome. I remember because I only watched it about 3 hours ago, but I can't remember how she dies.
No, me neither.
Like, I haven't written anything down.
It's going to be hospital related. I'm trying to think of what it could be.
Yeah, I've absolutely no idea how they get her.
No, maybe they put that blood pressure thing around her neck and go, and then her head pops off. I don't know.
That would be a good way.
No, I honestly can't.
No. It's gone.
No,
it's completely gone. Because there's some paddles in a minute.
The paddles bit made me fucking laugh.
Yeah, that was good. So she comes back in and she's wondering where the person is, where the sister is, and she's not there. And then she realizes that they're in the same room. So she slams this emergency button, which just makes a light blink.
But also, like, the Muppets Christmas Carol is happening in the foyer.
Oh,
there's a load of
Rudolph.
Load of people singing "Joy to the World" or something, dressed in Victorian costumes, and I'm like, America, stop appropriating Dickensian culture. But she finds she finds the little tag, the family's for everything, and it's got blood stains on it. She's like, they're in the room. So she tries the door, but as the nurse left, she went, this door's always getting stuck.
Oh, I've told them fix that. Who have you told to fix that?
I don't know. Doesn't matter, does it?
But when she slamming this thing and this little light is blinking, I've written the patients are overstimulated. Add more inbred killers.
But she hears them crawling through the suspended ceiling, and I'm like, that's bollocks. They'd be through there in 2 minutes. Like, there's no support. If you've ever accidentally touched one of those tiles, they crumble. Yeah, I'm like, no. But she climbs down into it, and a small scuffle ensues, and she goes again in a room full of medical equipment. She goes, charge these paddles up. You know, the heart resus paddles that they just leave in every room.
And at no point
people to muck about with.
Like, at no point did she shout clear so that they can get away.
No. But she's like, come on. Right. While this woman's beating her, she's like, come on. And then she puts them on her head, and it steams her head. And I was like, I don't think that's how electric works.
No, I don't think so.
But it turns that is Agnes dead.
Yeah.
But then, dun dun dun, Billy starts to descend from this ceiling hole.
But he's not yellow anymore.
But he's not yellow. They've sort of abandoned that. Maybe Agnes gave him half a liver.
It's that awful light in a hospital, isn't it? That's undone the yellowness.
Oh, isn't there? We missed the line as well where Agnes says, he's not my brother, he's my daddy.
He's that's it.
No.
But she over that for a reason.
Yeah, it just made me laugh because I was like, She smashes through the tiny pane of safety glass, which you can't actually smash through because it's wired as well. Opens the door from the outside, runs down the corridor, hits him, waits outside and hits him with a crutch.
Yeah.
And then doesn't stab him with it or anything.
No,
and then walks off.
He does this brilliant thing of grabbing the crutch and kind of hooking her foot with it. It's great. He
deserves to win.
Yeah.
Right. She manages to get away. She tumbles over this hospital car, and this orderly's like, this again. This is why nobody works Christmas at this hospital. Just put all that stuff on there. They fight a bit more. There's some slashing with a scalpel and stuff. They end up on a stairwell.
Yeah.
And Billy runs towards her, and then she remembers judo.
Yes.
And fucking uranagis him over the railing, and he lands on a Christmas tree that is made of metal.
The most sturdy Christmas tree in the world. Now, this is not how Christmas trees work, Joe. Trust me, I've got a cat. They will go over at the slightest thing. Yeah, I mean, I've fallen into ours so many times drunk. You've all put it near the light switch. No, but he piercing through his heart, and he goes, ugh. And then that's it. Yeah. That's it. That's the end of the film. Everyone is piss off. And that's the end of the film. Kelly is the only survivor of the film, which is kind of depressing because she isn't a character. No. Nobody in this is a character. No, they're not. Billy's mum is the only one that actually has any sort of story arc. Yeah. But I mean, that was it. That was Black Christmas. Your score, Mark. I have gonna have to give it 2 crushed baby's first Christmas baubles. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna give it 2 silver Russian Niet Oblomov rocket statues because it's a daft. It's one of those films that you can sort of yell at all the way through. I think I would want to watch it if it was just the kills. Just watch the kills. There's a lot of stuff in it that isn't important. Yeah. But it is one of those, don't go upstairs! It's one of those sort of films. But it's not terrible. But now I kind of want to watch the remake. The new one, me too. That is in comparison. But that leads us lovely into... So, just a couple of things, because I'm not James, and I've got my own podcast to figure out facts for, which I don't do. So, it's based on the 1974 film Black Christmas, as we've already said, which is miles better. Black Christmas is also the term used for the Day of Surrender in the Battle of Hong Kong, 25th of December 1941. Ooh. And a civil rights movement boycotting racist businesses in Greenville, North Carolina in 1963. Right on. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. If only they'd bring that back, eh? There'd be no fucking chicken filler or whatever the bloody hell that bunch of melts are. Yeah, it's Chicken Cottage or Get to Fuck, mate. Simple. Have I told you the story about Chicken Cottage? No, but we've got one in Bradford as well. No. We were doing a pub quiz thing, and it was names of shops with cryptic clues. And the thing was, Hen House. And it was Harvey got the thing first, and she was like, Hen House, Chicken Cottage, straight away, Chicken Cottage. Wrote it in, didn't go back to it, she was that confident. Yeah. Co-op, Coop. No, it's quite plainly chicken cottage.
I was like,
They
it's
can't
not
have not
really.
given you the points for that.
Oh, it was a Catholic church, mate. They were very, they
They
shook
made
us on
some
the way
changes.
out. Yeah, shook us on the way out to make sure that we didn't have any cash left on us. My dad bought a bike in an auction that night. It was a weird evening.
Oh, director Glenn Morgan. You'll know him from nothing. Went to school with James Wong, so it's not what you can direct.
Yeah.
This is his second film, only his second film, after a remake of the 1971 film Willard, which is a film about a boy and his rat.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's a remake
the one
of the
where the rat goes
1971 one. That's the one, yeah. And the Michael Jackson song Ben is about the rat in that, yeah.
I thought when you said Willard, I was like Willow's daft brother.
Fred Willard.
Yeah.
The story about the time he got caught tugging one off in that porno theatre.
Like Willow goes on a quest with Mad Martigan and Willard just works down Carpet Warehouse.
Yeah, absolutely. Feeding the ducks. Yeah, right.
Oh dear.
Characters that are and aren't in it. Michelle Trachtenberg plays Melissa Kitt, famously the daughter of Eartha and Michael Knight's car. Possibly. She was Buffy's little sister Dawn in 66 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she's worked pretty solidly in TV and film since. The scariest thing in this whole experience, Joe, she is 37 years old.
At this point?
No, now.
Oh, right. I was going to say, she looks
she would have been,
very
she would
good
have been
for
about
30.
20. She would have been about 20. We have lived far, far too long.
Our time has passed.
If Dawn Summers is 37.
We must bring around Carousel.
Yes, we must.
Yeah.
As long as I can have some plankton and fishes of the sea, I'll be quite happy. Yeah. Katie Cassidy is Kelly Presley. Kelly with an I. Although maybe don't talk about eyes in this. Would you believe David Cassidy's daughter?
No.
Yeah, more Nepo babies.
Nepo babies everywhere.
Yeah, that's it. She was in 3 films in 2006. This, The Lost, that depressingly bad Adam Sandler Click film.
Oh, Christ.
And When a Stranger Calls, which I think is the call is coming from inside the house film.
Is it not the one where it's all the... No, that's an Inspector Calls.
No, we did that. So, but famous Bradford playwright J.B. Priestley.
Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind watched her in that if she was...
if she was who, the Inspector?
Yeah, I don't know. Mix it up.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Heather Fitzgerald, I do declare. She's in Final Destination 3, which was also written by this very same director.
Is that the roller coaster one?
It is the roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's the only one I haven't seen in recent years. I've watched them all, but that one doesn't seem to be on anything, so I haven't seen that one.
I think at that point they'd run out. It was
no, because the NASCAR one's quite good.
I know, but it just becomes you want to watch the Rube Goldberg machine, don't you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and that's it. You don't really care about the plot.
She's Ramona Flowers in that perfect Scott Pilgrim versus the World film. She's also in the very good Till It Isn't 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, I haven't seen
Which could probably have done with being 15 minutes shorter and not having the very end bit, which I won't spoil. A bit spoilerific. And she's also in The Abomination, that is that The Thing prequel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
have
bad
to watch
times.
that. Yeah. The film cost $9 million US to make and grossed $21.5 million worldwide. I guess it all went on Madame Tussauds' heads.
It did not. They found it and it skipped round the back of a wimpy. I mean, it's made its money back then, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's obviously, I don't know,
Olden days
films,
money,
though, yeah. Semi-regular to the podcast, Lacey Chabert, of course, is on. Or don't call me Orange, Chabert. We've seen in All of My Heart and Love on Safari.
Yep.
Jesus, Love on Safari is probably one of your better episodes because it's one of the worst films.
She has. I found out today looking through to see what films she was in that we've done. There's a whole series of ones called like The Wedding Veil and then like The Wedding Veil Returns, Wedding Veil 3. This time it's personal. Like, Don't Look Behind the Wedding Veil. Here's Pat Vale and his wedding veil. Like, it's just really there's like 6 of these films, and I'm like, how? But we did. I thought it was the one we did about a wedding veil, but it's not. That's a different time travel wedding veil.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
She was Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls, which we did on 100 Things. Very early on, and Eliza Thornberry in The Wild Thornberrys. But I've never seen a frame of it, in spite of having a little sister.
Wild Thornberrys is pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it as weird as the Rugrats?
No, it's nowhere near as weird as it, but it is.
Okay.
It's kind of fun and has that good jokes that land for adults as well as for kids sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go out of your way to find it. There's other better stuff to watch.
It's classic soup oak, so it looks like dog shit.
It's their animation style. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Mark facts et fini.
Lovely. So the reviews for this are, again, run the gamut of 10 out of 10 if you don't take it seriously, and 1 out of 10, this is a terrible film. So we're only going to do 1 out of 10, because if you like shitty slasher films, you'll watch any old Todd, won't you?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Horror film fans, or slasher film fans, is there a breed like them?
It's all about the killings. That's literally all it is. That's what you watch it for, is the most interesting killings.
I guess so.
I mean, I kind of feel dirty doing like a proper horror film on this, because there's so many other podcasts that just do horror films, and that's fine. That's fine. Whatever gets you through the day. It's just not for me, because how many times can you talk about, and then the woman in the white top runs around in the rain and you can see her nipples, and then the man's hiding in a cupboard. But then I can say that I watch fucking Hallmark films for a living. So,
living?
Well,
it's a living.
So we're going to do a 1 out of 10. It's now even worse than the test cut. This person watched it twice, by Addison D26. How can they screw up such a simple premise? I saw this months ago at a test screening. It was a joke then, a real mess of a movie, thinly plotted and confusing at the same time. But I heard about reshoots, so there was hope. I can guarantee you nothing was reshot. There was nothing. Now it's even worse. No plot holes fixed, just more added. Clunky flashbacks that after a while stop being justifiably told to us. And with a new lunatic asylum sequence and Dr. Giggles-esque hospital finale. Dr. Giggles.
Wow.
That's her in the cordoned off area of the video shop, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The movie now seems endless. I'm dumbfounded as to why Dimension even spent any money trying to fix it the way they did. Andrea Martin is literally sorting presents under a tree for the first 30 minutes of the film. That is a fact. She does. Awkwardly staged and boring. At least 2 of the actresses look enough alike to get them mixed up every time we see them. I did a lot, because they should have won numbers or something. Do the filmmakers have contempt for this type of genre? Think about it. If a director is making a movie that he wouldn't pay $10 to see, then we have a genuine problem. It made its money back.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming more, because I imagine it wasn't like they spent a lot of publicity and stuff for it.
There was quite a lot of TV spots from what I read. They did actual shoots to make stuff specifically for TV spots.
Oh, maybe.
But I didn't think that was interesting enough for me to talk about.
No. But it is what it is. It's like, if you like this sort of stuff, you'll probably get a real kick out of it. But in terms of like Christmas horror stuff, there's better stuff.
If you like this, get Shudder for a month. It's full of loads of shit like this. Much better. Yeah.
It's the killing.
Joe, just very quickly, over the next 3 months, I am going to be walking 1 million steps, not 100 million steps, like I originally posted on Twitter like an idiot.
Wow.
But Joe's already given me the money, so it's not going to happen. So I'm walking 1 million steps for Diabetes UK. It's roughly about 385 miles, I think. I've absolutely no idea where I'm going to get on, but I'm going to have a bloody good go at it. Joe will put on the show notes.
I'll put it all in the thing, and we'll put it in the...
But we'd love for you to just, even if you just throw us a couple of shekels, that'd be good. Because I'm sure you know or have known somebody that's been affected by diabetes, and it is pretty debilitating and does probably do a lot more damage than just the stupid Wilfred Brimley jokes that we always do.
It might turn you yellow like a serial killer.
Or it might mean you have to have sex with your mum and create some sort of diabetes.
So give Mark a $5, or you will have to have sex with your mum, is what we're saying.
Unless she's fit, then
you must marry your mother-in-law. You flinched. In conclusion, that was 2006's Black Xmas. There's only one line from this film I remember.
Go on.
He's not my brother, he's my daddy.
You frigid southern princess.
Fucking hell. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, but it's better than pickled onions because it's northern.